Hello, everybody. Welcome back to PLD Projects. Welcome to another episode of reView, a momentous episode of reView. Last time we were here, episode 19 from the one and only season of 1984-1985's V. We finished it out. We made everybody proud, but we weren't quite finished because we do have something special this week. But I am PLD from PLD Projects. I am with my co-host, the lovely Lego. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I was told there'd be story time. A little disappointed I didn't get any apple slices, but it's all right. I'll let it go this time.
Yeah, my wife ate the last apple today, or else I would have had apple slices. Actually, I'm a little mad at her myself. I wanted my own apple slices. I get nothing, man.
What kind of apple you got? What kind of apple?
The one that she had, I think, were pink ladies.
I like a pink lady.
I do like a pink lady as well. I do
Kind
like
of
them. I like
feeling
them.
a honey crisp though.
Ooh, Honey Crisp. Depends what kind of mood I'm in. I do like a good Macintosh at times, and I actually on a very I have to be very very much in the mood. But Granny Smith apple.
Granny Smith.
I do like, but I only sometimes I get really sick of it and can't do it for a while. But then after I wait a while and come back, I'm like, oh, this is really good. This is really good.
I mean, for a good like apple pie, you do half Granny Smith, half Golden Delicious. Perfect
Mm.
mixture. You get that kind of sour, but it's not too tart because the
Right,
Golden Delicious is sweet.
right,
The
right.
trick to an apple pie.
Interesting. We are doing a baking show here, obviously, now. That's what we've turned into because we ran out of apples. No, I'm just teasing. Of course, we have a lot actually to do on a review because we have a couple special episodes to go. And then we will be breaking into the 2009 remake, which made me realize when I'm watching our opening here, do I have to do a brand new opening now with the 2009 version?
I
I
mean,
don't
you
know.
kinda gotta,
I kind of got it. I didn't even think about that.
and you can keep the
Luckily,
music.
yeah, definitely keeping music. But I have to find some new clips and stuff to throw in there. I don't know. It's going to be weird.
I mean, if you're doing the 2000 one, I'm just blanking on the year, 2008?
2009, I think,
2009.
yeah, close.
2009? You're gonna have to do fast cuts. You're gonna have to do
You'll probably
shaky
have
cam, maybe add a little heat to it,
to do
maybe reduce a little, add a little stabilizer to it. You might give people some sort of, like,
seizures or something. I don't
condition. If
know.
you're
Yeah,
seasick, don't watch.
fair, fair. Yeah, I will have to do something, I guess. I could hold off for a little bit. For the next couple episodes we have, like this one was good. The next one we're going to do after this, we're actually going to do a character ranking, which we've been going back and forth with about. I've got it down to like 42 characters. I'm going to cut it down even further. We're
LD, I'm
gonna,
not gonna know who any of these people are.
you will. I think you will for
I
most of them at least.
forget Donovan's name. I need pictures.
I will try to get pictures. That's what I'll try to do. But then we also are going to do a rating of the episodes because we never actually did that for this entire run. That'll be part of the same episode, I think. I will do that. We have another script to do actually, but this one's going to be a little bit different. What are we doing today, though? We should talk about now instead of the future. We should talk about today's episode. What we're doing today is I call this the kind of half episode because this is the unproduced script for what would have been episode 20 of season one of the season finale. I believe this was supposed to be the actual season finale, which is where I gave the writers credit last time in terms of that I hated how they ended it, but I didn't actually, I actually had a little bit of different ending in mind. And I'm very curious to see how you take it. I reread the script last night, and I'm going to say this is not any market improvement. In, in fact, there's some really bad moments, but there is a couple things that I think are interesting. And where it ends up, I feel like if we had gotten with how this ended, we went on to a season two and somehow just fired everybody writing wise and get ready new writing wise, we could have been in a place where we could have had something interesting to watch potentially. But we'll get there.
So, may I ask, like, how was this made available? Like, did somebody put it in a book, or was it like distributed online? Or
This was actually bought off of somebody off a lot. Like they had like a lot of these scripts on a lot, and one of them actually came to it. I forget how it was verified, but I do remember at one point it's been around for a little while. This was verified as being the actual script. The only question I have, I do read that book. I'm actually going to talk about that book later on. Fascist Leaders from Outer Space: The Politics of Literary Influences and what is it? Politics Literary Influences and Cultural History of Kenneth Johnson's V by Dan Copp. I get a lot of great information from there. But even they don't really say it. I've heard rumors. Some people say that they actually shot some of this, potentially. But I've also heard that no one shot anything. I will say that the script seems more like a draft that they never did much else with. I know you joke and say they actually did more than one draft. I don't believe it. But there is some cleaning up they would have had to have done, at least for one particular part. But maybe not. Maybe it's just that bad. I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll find out together because this is something new and interesting we're going to do tonight. We are going to do a reaction. But instead of watching the show, because there's no show to watch, I am going to be reading out the script. And Lego has never seen one word, heard anything about it, knows nothing, absolutely nothing. So,
well, not nothing. I know what you just said.
Well, you know what I just said, yeah. Okay, true. Which is pretty much next to nothing. No specifics, anyway. We will see how it was supposed to continue from when Donovan said he must have stowed away. Julie said he stowed away. And we left the resistance, Donovan, Julie, and Willie, with Thelma kind of in the background, watching as Kyle, Elizabeth, and the leader flew off to parts unknown.
I can't believe they wanted another episode. Like, that feels like the last episode. Like, why would you make a continuation of that?
Right. It feels like, I mean, maybe it's a part one of a part two. Maybe it's supposed to be a part one of part two. And then
this feels like this seems like it should be how season 2 opens.
Yeah, maybe. But I gotta tell you, after you read this, I think you'll see more where this feels like the finale of season 1 going into season 2. Because I gotta tell you, season 2,
who dies,
would have been a different. Well, season 2 would have been a different style of show. You're gonna find out, if anybody.
Do they land the mothership? I have so many questions.
Yeah. I will also say finally, just to show you where everybody else is, Diana and James are under arrest. If you remember, they're handcuffed, about to be executed for trying to take over the mothership, trying to insurrect Philip and the leader's leadership. Diana has left a bomb aboard the mother, or she's implied that she's left a bomb aboard the leader's shuttle. And Philip.
We begin with the leader, Jedi girl, and Kyle dead. What a great way to start the show. No, I'm liking it already. Improvement.
I go, my poor sweet summer child.
Take.
And without further ado, let's do it, since I am going to be reading the whole script as best I can. V, episode 20, The Attack. Act 1, fade in, exterior of the mothership. Day, continuous action from episode 19, stock footage. Shocker. As the leader's shuttle clears the landing bay to begin its journey homeward. Then we shoot to 2, interior mothership. Day. Philip and Lydia watch the shuttle go as Diana and James are handcuffed in background under Oswald's supervision. So what are from Oswald?
Oswald? Girl. What? He's like, I can already tell he's giving that cop in Jason Lives.
Yes.
Where the redneck goes,
you bang.
Philip. He's gonna let him go.
Philip. Now that the Star Child is united with the leader, we will finally have a true and lasting peace. Lydia. I only wish I could believe that, Commander. Philip.
That's your Lydia?
That's my Lydia, I guess. I can't do accents. I only wish I could believe that, Commander. How about that? Is that better? A little more? Okay. Philip. You have reason to doubt it? Lydia looks to Diana and James. Lydia. I will always have my doubts so long as Diana breathes. She's a cruel and wicked enemy. Philip. But this time her ego has taken her beyond the bounds of the law. Her treason against the leader is inexcusable. On that, the galactic codes are very clear.
So the leader landed, grabbed Stargirl, and just fucked off while they're supposed to be in peace negotiations?
Yeah, it seems a little weird, huh? It seems a little strange. Continuing that, there nobody seems to be too upset about, though. Have the resistance a little bit, maybe. But
okay, so he definitely grabbed Stargirl as like a child bride, right? We all agree on that, right? That's why he wanted to wear the Carrie dress, right?
Gonna find out. Lydia, you mean she'll finally be sentenced? Philip, prepare the cyclopurgers. For James as well as Diana. Lydia, as you command, Inspector. She starts off barely able to contain her pleasure. Philip, catching her. But Lydia, do not enjoy these executions too deeply. My instinct tells me that's exactly the way Diana began. He moves off.
Eye roll.
3. On Donovan and Julie. Near their shuttle, as Willie and Thelma hurry in, concerned. Willie, Mr. Mike, Julie, we cannot find Mr. Kyle anywhere. Thelma, we have searched the entire landing bay. Donovan, then Kyle must have stowed away. Julie, where else could he be? Donovan, come on, we're going after him. He turns for the shuttle, but Julie stops him. Julie, and start the war all over again? Carefully. Mike, I feel the same way you do about Kyle. But for once, look at it from his side. Donovan, which is? Julie, he loves Elizabeth. Always has. Donovan, that's why he'll probably pull some silly stunt up there and get himself killed.
Dead.
Julie.
Dead.
Julie, or convince himself that Elizabeth is doing what she wants to do, what she has to do. Willie.
Listen, sometimes you just break up. Sometimes your girl, she's a child bride to an
She's
intergalactic dominator.
She finds
what's Frieza? He's like conqueror, an intergalactic conqueror.
Conqueror. Hey, sometimes,
the Genghis Khan of space.
Chicks dig the power, I guess.
No. She's brainwashed. She's a victim, PLD. Come on.
Are you sure?
He was talking through her. You can't get more brainwashed than that.
Willie, if I may, I think Miss Julie is right. The leader would never harm Mr. Kyle. Thelma, the leader is too great for that. Donovan, really? But if he's so great, why does he have Elizabeth?
If he's so great, why does he send his people out to eat people?
Good question. To that and to your question, no one has an answer.
Oh my God. Okay, I've got it. The leader is like Guru from Dynamics, okay? So he has all these kids. His land is not what it used to be. And he's got all these hungry kids. He's like, you know what? You want to go to McDonald's? Fine. Go to McDonald's. Go. Let's go. It's fine. It's fine. Just go.
I love it.
Jeez. And he's like, well, since you're at McDonald's and you know, I can get this child bride while you're there, you know, I'll just swing by and pick that up and the rest of you can have fun in the playpen.
So Happy Meals and a child bride all in one.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. 4. On Lydia. As she finished checking Diana and James's handcuffs. Lydia. So once and for all, Diana, accept the inevitable. You've lost the battle and you've lost the war. Diana. Darling, my inevitable is victory. Nothing else. And when it comes, you will be the one put in the cyclopurger. Lydia bristles. Turns to Oswald. Take them away. Oswald. With pleasure. Oswald draws his laser pistol.
Yeah.
As Lydia stalks off, he turns to Diana, glaring at him. Diana, I beg your pardon. Instantly, he holds up 2 fingers an inch apart. Oswald. Well, maybe just a little pleasure. Now move. Please. Pretty please. He ushers them off almost pleadingly. 5. Exterior, space shuttle, stock footage. To establish it journeying it towards space. 6. Interior shuttle. From close on, a visitor pilot to reveal a compartment opening at the rear of the shuttle. Under a console, Kyle appears to climb out, gun ready, confused as he sees the rest of the shuttle empty. No sign of Elizabeth or the leader. Pilot, we have been waiting. Kyle draws his gun on guard. Kyle, what have you done with her? Where's Elizabeth? Pilot, there's no reason for concern. She is with the leader. Kyle scans the shuttle. Obviously, they are the only 2 on board. Kyle, and where is that? Pilot, call to her. You will see for yourself. Kyle, tentatively. Elizabeth? No answer.
Do they live in a different dimension?
Kyle, if anything's wrong with her, you're a dead lizard. But as Kyle cocks the gun, preparing to fire, Elizabeth voiceover. Calls filtered. Kyle. Kyle. Elizabeth? Elizabeth voiceover. It's me, Kyle. I'm here. Kyle. Where? Pilot. I told you. She's with the leader. Kyle turns towards the pilot, presses the gun against his chest. I've had it with your games. Elizabeth voiceover. Kyle, please. The leader is a being of peace.
Bullshit. What the actual fuckity fuck? What? What? I can't breathe. I'm so mad. What?
You know what?
Girl? Dumb. They said, I'm sorry, PLD, are you gonna look me in the face one more time and tell me they had a character Bible? Are you gonna look me in the face and tell me that these people who wrote this watched any other, not only previous episode, but the final battle or the original miniseries? This is bullshit. This is the dumbest thing. I can't even. Why the fuck are we even? Do they know what the word peace means?
That's a great question. I don't think they do. I
can't even.
Kyle shares your cynicism. Sure. And there are thousands of people dead to prove it. More like millions, but okay. To the pilot. I don't know how you're pulling this off, this magic act, buddy. You got about 2 seconds to stop. Elizabeth's voiceover. Kyle, if you don't believe the leader, he will prove it to you himself. Kyle, how? Elizabeth voiceover. By allowing me to bring you to him. Here, with me, with us. Are you ready? Kyle, leery. Whenever you are. Kyle waits, tensely on guard. As music builds, he seems to feel a vibration, a shuddering within himself. Slowly, ominously, he begins to dematerialize in a cosmic transition to an ether state until he is gone and we dissolve to 7. Limbo area of darkness.
We have such sights to show you.
Yes. Thank you. In the far distance, an image of light, a cosmic window, a door, a vision of hope. As Kyle materializes, growing even more concerned. Kyle, Elizabeth, where are you? He scans right to left, but there is no sign of her. Only clouds as he rushes off to 8, another area. Great production design. Still nothing. Kyle begins to panic. Kyle, Elizabeth, answer me. Say something. Anything. Suddenly, the music begins to swell again, and the form of the leader steps into the distant opening. A massive, stark silhouette with 4 arms. He towers like a giant, even at this distance. The lights diffused behind him. 9 on Kyle. He spins, cocks his Uzi. Kyle, either give her back now or it's over. Elizabeth's voiceover.
Your weapons don't work here, Earthling.
Guns are useless, Kyle.
No mortal man can defeat me.
Kyle, I mean it. I don't know what you've done to her, how you brainwashed her, but I want her back now. No response. Kyle raises his Uzi to fire, but as he does, 10 on Uzi. It dematerializes. Poor gun. That was Ham Tyler's gun, I think. That's bullshit. Anyway.
Now he's impotent. Whoa.
11. On scene. Elizabeth slowly enters from the darkness. Elizabeth, you see, the leader is all good, all knowing.
No,
Kyle.
Yeah.
Then why does he want you? Elizabeth, because with me, he is one. Kyle, Elizabeth, this is crazy. What of what? Elizabeth, the sum of one, the total, the complete. Kyle, he looks pretty complete to me right now.
The fuck Buddha nonsense is this?
Elizabeth, only to your eyes. Kyle, then tell me where I'm wrong. Explain it to me. Elizabeth, eons ago, by your Earth terms, the leaders of Saurus were fearful one of their kind would become too powerful. Kyle, no different from the problems we have, so. Elizabeth, so the Onyx was broken. The Onyx? Elizabeth, the essence, the source of all their individuals and combined power. Kyle, and Elizabeth, some of it was brought to Earth by what your Earthlings call your ancient astronauts. Kyle, the star travelers who left all those signs in New Mexico desert in
Wait a
South
minute.
America.
Are they really doing ancient aliens?
It's aliens. Elizabeth nods, confirming, as part of you and part of them, I make the leader whole again. 12.
Wait, wait. PLD, can
Go
you
ahead.
take that from the top?
Sure.
Just Elizabeth's line.
Go
With
back.
the onyx or
Next,
onyx
yeah.
or whatever.
Okay, so eons ago, by your Earth terms, the leaders of Saurus.
Okay, wait. Eons ago, by your Earth terms, are there other ways we measure eons? Are there multiple measurements of eons?
I guess the Saurians have different measures of eons that we don't know about.
Okay, please continue.
The leaders of Saurus were fearful one of their kind would become too powerful. No distant difference from the problems we have. So, Elizabeth, so the Onyx, by the way, capital ANYX. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but Onyx, Annex. Annex was broken. I was like Annex. The Annex was broken. Kyle, Annex? Elizabeth, the essence, the source of all their individuals and combined power. Ooh. Kyle, and Elizabeth, some of it was brought to Earth by what you Earthlings call your ancient astronauts.
But we don't have ancient astronauts.
That was in the 80s. That was a big thing. That was, they said, the aliens today who left all the signs, the crop circles, those were all
But
ancient.
like that, they don't think that people left Earth. They think that aliens came. That's not how.
Well, the ancient astronauts are our aliens.
I got it. I'm
okay.
slow.
Okay, it's all
I
good.
worked towards the answer. I've
You got it.
clicked.
We
I
got
am
there.
looking out. Ancient astronauts. All right, go ahead, PLD.
Okay. Kyle, the star travelers who left all those signs in the New Mexico desert and South America. Elizabeth nods, confirming, as part of you and part of them, I make the leader whole again.
Okay, wait. I'm so confused.
So you and me both there, Lego, you and me both. I think everyone's
So
confused.
they thought someone was getting too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this like thingy, this
Mhm.
annex or onyx or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and which contained all their power, and they broke it. And part of it was brought to Earth by ancient astronauts.
So I'm guessing that it's also hidden in different places, I'm assuming.
And they have different pieces hidden. Okay, so what the fuck does that have to do with literally anything?
Absolutely nothing.
And what the hell does that have to do with Elizabeth?
Because she's half human, half visitor. So somehow.
Then why don't any of the other visitors have any fucking powers?
They're the low class visitors, I guess. They don't have, like, it's like, superheroes and they're the normal people. The leaders are the superheroes, I guess, of the visitors.
Then why didn't Charles?
Maybe he did have, Charles, yes, maybe he did have superpowers. We didn't know it. He was very charismatic. Maybe that was a superpower. Yeah. 12. On Kyle. He studies Elizabeth, then turns to the leader, still concerned. 13. Interior mothership, bridge, day. As Lydia commands, an ensign monitors a deep space radar screen. Ensign, the leader has rejoined his escort and all seems well. Lydia, good. The sooner they all reach hyperwarp, the better off we will all be. Ensign, now approaching the dock zone. 14. Interior leader shuttle. The pilot concentrates on his course as camera pans to an electronic pattern under one of the guide consoles. Slowly, a crystal at its center begins to glow. 15. Interior mothership, a bridge, day. An alarm sounds. Lydia spins toward the ensign. Lydia, what is it? Ensign, I'm not sure, Commander. I think it's the leader's shuttle. 6. Close on radar monitor. At the heart of the squadron, a red light is pulsating within the leader's ship. 17, on scene. Lydia, raise them at once. 18, interior leader shuttle. The pilot continues his course, oblivious to any complication, and camera pans to the crystal, which begins to pulsate brighter and brighter. 19, interior mothership bridge. The ensign turns to Lydia, frustrated. Ensign, it's no use. Either they won't answer or they've already entered the Kerlian quadrant. Kerlian quadrant, I don't know. Kerlian. Lydia, and radio blackout. Ensign, preparing for hyperwarp. Lydia, sound general stations. 20, interior landing bay, day. As Donovan and Julie watch Philip shaking hands with Willie and Thelma at the shuttle. Willie, goodbye, Inspector. Philip, and good luck. Willie, thank you. We don't need it. Thelma to Willie. Need what, Willie? What is luck? We just talked about luck last episode during the sword fighting scene, and Thelma was sitting right there. I want to throw one out there. Willie, I will explain it to you later. It is a marvelous little custom. No, it's not. It's not a custom. Luck is not a custom.
Yeah.
He ushers her into the shuttle. Philip steps forward to Julie, then Donovan. Julie, you have our thanks too, for everything and forever. Without you, Philip, we each help the other for our mutual good. Donovan, thank God it worked. They start inside. Philip, Donovan, you will find your boy. Donovan, thanks to you. I've got Ham meeting us with some special new car he's developed. Suddenly, the general station alarm sounds. Everyone in the landing bay reacts. Visitor troops and pilots scurry to battle assignments. Julie, what's that? Philip, general station, something's under attack. Donovan, we'd better take off. Philip, I'm afraid that's impossible. All takeoff or landings will be canceled. As he rushes off, we tighten on their reactions. I just want to note there that they were bringing Sean back up. Did not mention his name. Philip said, you're going to go find your boy. Where is it?
Oh, I didn't even realize. I thought he was talking about Kyle.
Donovan, you'll find your boy.
I thought he was talking about Kyle.
Oh, thanks to you, I've got Ham meeting us with some special new car he's developed.
What the fuck? Oh my God. Are we saying he created the DeLorean? We're going to go back in time.
I like that. All right, 21, interior upper corridor, day. As visitor troops and pilots rush to battle quarters, camera adjusts to a door sliding open, and Oswald peers outside from the jail area, where electronic beams imprison Diana and James. Diana, you see, you fool, we're under attack. I am needed on the bridge. Oswald, nervously. But if I release you, Lydia will have my head. Diana, if you don't, I'll have your hide. James, and for a lizard, that can be very painful. Oswald winces at the thought of the pain. Diana, all you have to do is look the other way. Oswald, I know, but it's so difficult for me. My eyes always want to watch.
What? No, don't answer. Just keep going.
Diana, 4,000 crystal sesterces. Will that be enough for you to distract your attention? Oswald, crystal? Diana, with tinges of purple gelsolites. Or something like that.
I'm banging
Gelosites.
my head against a wall.
Oswald, oh, I'll take you there myself. He shuts down the electron.
Okay, hold up.
Them.
For a long time, it seems like they had an economy based on food. Now, all of a sudden, I'm assuming this is jewelry.
I'm assuming
the reason I assume this is because it's Oswald.
Yes. He likes the sparkly things, we feel like.
I just wanted to say that. You can proceed.
Okay. I mean, Diana did give Daniel Bernstein a ring back in the day, so she's definitely understanding the concept of it, at least.
I mean, it does seem like it's either jewelry or food.
Yeah. Although the 4,000 sesterces, 4,000 crystal sesterces.
But that their only person guarding them
is Oswald.
Is the guy who does the decorations.
And also it appears to maybe the mortician as well.
I have follow-up.
Oswald's a man of all trades.
So, what do you think his, page in the character Bible says? The show Bible, like Oswald.
Whatever you need him to be.
Clearly.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Hey, how dare you?
He is a master body finder. That's
He
true.
is a master pimp.
That's true.
This
Fair,
we know for sure.
Oswald shuts down the electron beings, releasing them, freezing only as Diana glares at him for daring to touch her as he tries to help her through the door. Oswald, sorry. 22. Interior, bridge, day. As Philip rushes in, followed by Donovan, Julie, Willie, and Thelma, the air of emergency is obvious.
What the fuck is Thelma doing here still?
Hanging out with Willie.
Okay, go on.
Lydia, try again. Ensign, it's no use, Commander. The escort shuttles don't respond either. Philip, from what direction is the attack coming? Lydia, it's not us, Inspector. It's the leader's shuttle. Philip, the leader's under attack? Lydia, worse. The sensor alarms detect the activation of an explosive device on board. 23, close on radar.
Wait, so all this is happening on the LA mothership.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm assuming it's been 5 minutes and they detected the explosive device on the leader's shuttle.
Yes. Yes.
Too stupid to comment on. Just go ahead.
Okay. Close on radar monitor. It shows the red blip inside the leader's shuttle is pulsing brighter and brighter. 24, on scene. Philip to Ensign. Under what time frame? Ensign. 15 kilometons, sir. Kilometons. And counting.
Screaming inside.
Philip, 15 to Lydia. Have you ordered them to abandon the shuttle? Lydia, it's impossible. They're in the Curlian quadrant. Philip, with a radio blackout from the ion haze. Ensign, counting. 12 kilometons, approaching the dark zone.
Oh, just blow up already.
Diana now appears, escorted by James and Oswald. Diana.
Escorted by James? Okay, go ahead.
Diana. Well, once I am gone, I see anarchy reigns supreme. Lydia. Diana, do not test me. The leader is in mortal danger. Diana. Of that I have no doubt with you in command. To the ensign. How much time? Ensign. 8 kilometons. 7. Lydia. Diana, I beg you, if this is some new plot of yours, abandon it. Whatever you ask, I'll pay. This is the leader. Ensign. 6 kilometons. 5. Lydia. Inspector, please, do something. Philip, I join Lydia. Diana. A full and complete pardon if you will spare the leader. 25 on Diana. Diana. If only I could. But as you well know, I was in custody when this treachery was accomplished. He smiles evilly. 26 on scene. Ensign. 4 kilometons. 3. Diana. Perhaps it wouldn't have happened if I had been in command. Ensign. 2 kilometons. 27 interior leader shuttle. Day. As the pilot navigates on, oblivious to his danger, camera tightens on the crystal under the console. Its source pulsating faster and faster, hotter and hotter as we intercut. 28, interior bridge. The reactions of everyone. Julie, Donovan, Willie, Thelma, Philip, Lydia, and the smugness of Diana and James. Ensign. 1 kilometon. Entering the dark zone. 29, exterior leader shuttle.
Okay, but if they're in a different dimension... Never mind, just go on. It's too dumb to think about.
Exterior leader shuttle. The crystal explodes in a flash of nuclear fusion. Fade out. End of Act 1.
It's because it's space.
I like it. I like that. Your effects are doing this for me, just so you know he's making it good. Act 2, fade in. 30, interior mothership, bridge, day. Diana and Lydia are together when James comes up. James, have you heard the news? Skytrack Control reports the leadership has disintegrated. Lydia is dumbstruck. Diana does her best to appear likewise. Lydia, but how?
Bitch.
James, they can't say, but they are ruling out an act of sabotage.
What the okay. There was a bomb on board. It exploded, but there was no sabotage.
Not at all.
I like their math. They're so good at math. Like, they're really great at math. Like,
Diana said it was
fantastic.
so. Diana said it was so. So that's the way it goes. Each of them searches the other's face for a hint of information. Diana moves to the attack. Diana, the resistance. Lydia, why now? What did they have to gain? Diana, they've always been bloody-minded savages. Why should the leopard change his spots? I want them arrested at once. Beat. Meanwhile, this fleet is under martial law.
How? No, was okay.
James wheels to do his duty. Lydia, on whose authority? Diana, my own. Do you dispute it? Lydia, I'm certain Philip will. Diana, Philip, dear lady, has no position at all at the moment. He is involved with the traitors who killed our leader. Lydia, you mean to arrest him too, then? Diana, I mean to question him to see if he's able to
Lydia,
exonerate
you have
himself.
higher rank than Diana. What the? Nobody. The leader is. Oh my god.
Lydia, this is quite a power play, Diana. Diana, correct. Are you
Just
with me?
shoot her in the head, Lydia. You could just shoot her in the head right now and be done with it. That's all you have to do. Punch her and shoot her in the head. It's so simple. I can't even wrap my mind around this. It's so asinine. Okay.
Diana, correct. Are you with me or against me? Lydia, on grounds of my authority and all this is not less than your own. Diana, if you share their power, you must share the responsibility. Lydia, agreed. Diana, then done. Issue a general notification of our new status and order martial law imposed at once, and let the word be given that we are about to celebrate the divine destruction ritual. Lydia.
I don't even know what's happening right now.
Join the club. Lydia, then you mean a general attack on Earth? Diana, total and crushing. I think the time is right, don't you? He turns and walks away.
The moment after your leader is dead, you think that people are gonna fall in love. Okay.
Well, I will argue this point. Right now they're under an armistice, so that's why it's the idea to attack while they're under an armistice is kind of an interesting idea. That it might be a perfect time to do an attack if you attack like when everybody's thinking it's peace negotiations.
If you tell a group of people that your leader, that has been your leader your entire life, has just been killed
by the resistance,
it doesn't even matter. Like it doesn't. You're not going to immediately go into action.
Well, they are a warlike race. Maybe they will. I mean, Diana can whip them into shape. I guess we're going to find out, aren't we?
This script is so dumb. I hate it.
And she turns and walks away. By her, I mean Diana, not you. You're stuck here.
Oh, I really thought you were narrating my feelings.
No, it was perfect. It was perfect. It was perfectly placed in the script, so I had to do it. Cut
Same, Diana.
31 interior corridors of various angles stock. Throughout the ship, there's a general hustling and bustling as the aliens make ready. Cut to 32 interior landing bay day stock. Fighters and transports, or whatever we have, are made ready for operation. And we see the assembly and arming of the alien fighting fleet. Cut to 33 interior detention cell day. Donovan and Julie are there along with Willie, stunned at what has overtaken them and at a loss to explain it after all has gone before. Julie, I just don't get it. I mean, out of the blue, they arrest us. No explanation? No nothing? Donovan, it's got to be bad news when it comes. I'd rather not stick around to find out what they're trying to hang on us. You get anything from the guards, Willie? Willie, dumb's the word. They won't tell me a thing. Julie, what could it be? Everything was so perfect. Donovan, something has to have happened to the leader. They couldn't jail us if you were liable to find out about it.
Weren't they in the room when it happened? In the room where it happened?
Yes. Yes, they were. That's one of the things I think they would have had to clear up, maybe. I don't know, maybe not. Probably not. Julie, not unless the peace was broken. If he's been killed. Donovan, then we have nothing between us, we have nothing between us and Diana but our wits. We've got to get out of here. A jailer walks down the hallway to their cell with Thelma following him, a large box in her hands. 34, another angle. A jailer reaches the door as Willie to Thelma. Lock, pull, down, Thelma. Thelma smiles warmly. The guard barks at Willie. Hock, geet. Willie backs away from the bars where he's been reaching out to his lady friend. Makes a conciliatory gesture. Yes, the lady friend. 35. On guard and Thelma. He opens the box she holds, revealing a curiously wrought sort of alien engagement cake. The guard examines it with disgust, then waves Thelma an okay. She moves to the open aperture in the bars and slips the cake
If
inside
you
Willie's grateful
tell me
gasp.
she baked a cake with an escape plan inside, I'm leaving.
Willie? Julie, what is it, Willie? Your birthday? Willie, it's our engagement cake, an ancient custom. He beams at Thelma. Wow, thanks, Thel. Well, thanks, Thel. I would never have expected this, especially here. He looks around at the bars and the tiny windows
Is
8
this
feet off the floor.
time? Is my brain melting?
Perhaps. There's greatness to come. There's greatness to come.
PLD.
Thelma, I wanted you to have it anyway. I mean, it's only a matter of time until you're out. He says this with a strange sort of emphasis, then winks at them all. Thelma, I hope you don't find the flavor too powerful. If you're listening at audio, Lego has just literally walked and gotten up and is kind of straightening around. And she's all right. She's back. She's back. I understand it. I understand it. Willie, powerful. Thelma winces, her face away from the lizard guard who's picking up none of this action. Thelma, what I mean is, I hope that the taste doesn't blow you away. He makes muted, explosive gestures. Willie looks baffled, but Donovan and Julie have long since copped to Thelma's cryptic signals. Donovan.
I'm dead inside.
You can be sure to love it, Thelma. She nods delightedly. I actually would like to have emailed Kenneth Johnson and have Kenneth Johnson hearing this script.
Why would you be so cruel to that nice man?
That's true. I would almost think he'd get so enraged he might actually go on a killing spree. She nods delightedly. Willie, your cakes were always terrific back home. Thelma, well, gotta run now. Have a blast. Willie still doesn't get it. Julia takes his arms and Donovan heads off.
So clearly the average IQ of the visitors is about Willie.
That's about right. Julie.
Maybe that's because they're so malnourished.
That could be. They're so hungry. They have no water. They have nothing.
No, I'm thirsty and I'm dead.
We'll see to it that he gets the very most out of this experience, Thelma. And as the guard leads Thelma away with Willie's eyes wistfully following her, we cut to 36 interior Lydia's quarters day. Diana is there with Lydia, each of them daringly revealing diaphanous gowns as they prepare to celebrate the upcoming ritual.
Fucking get it over with.
Lydia, do you suppose she's really dead then? Diana, Elizabeth? Absolutely. How could you even wonder? Lydia, you're so certain that the leader and his craft were destroyed. Diana, without question. I am as sure as if, for example, I'd actually done it myself. Lydia gives her a take on that, and Diana smiles wickedly. Lydia, there really only remains to deal with Philip, and the command of the entire expeditionary force is ours. Diana, precisely. Lydia, I think the one quality in you I've always admired most, Diana, is your unfailing capacity to think big. Diana, and what I love about you, dear, is your unerring instinct for sticking with a winner. They smile at each other like two well-behaved piranhas. Because piranhas smile at each other all the time.
It's nice to know how sexist it wasn't even in the script.
Lydia, what do you intend to do with Philip? Diana, let him hang himself. His loyalties are all with the resistance. Lydia, as long as Elizabeth lived. Diana, he had a direct line to the leader. He pinned his hopes on her royal blood and the influence she had with her grandfather.
Wait a hot fucking minute. What was your dad's name?
Brian.
Little Bri.
Might be in our rankings. Maybe. I guess Brian is royal. We didn't know it.
No, I refuse. And also, no.
Are they saying, by the way, He pinned his hopes on her royal bloodline and the influence she had with her grandfather. Is the leader her grandfather?
We're fucking
I
goddamn
don't
saying
know.
Ryan was the leader's child. The only way that makes sense if it's like I said, they're Namekians. They're all the leader's children.
Maybe that's what it
They were
is.
hatched from eggs. But we know it's not true because we've seen them have children.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Papa Smurf, make it make sense.
Well, let's keep going. We'll try. Lydia, now that the leader is no more, it strikes me Philip has no ground to stand on. Diana, well put. Lydia, I always detested him. I think the sooner we eliminate him, the better. Diana, would say the end of the day be soon
Girl,
enough, do you
why
think?
you always lying?
Diana winks. Lydia smiles. So far, they are working well together. Cut to 37, interior detention cell area. Day. Julie, Donovan, and Willie have taken the cake apart and are searching through its sticky contents. Julie, there, I can feel it. She takes her gooey hand out, covered in frosting, and wipes it out a sheet. Holds up 3 strips of metallic substance. 38 close on her hand, holding 3 magnesium strips. 39 on 3 of them. Elated, though Willie still doesn't know what it is. Willie, what is it? What are those? Donovan, I give about 4 to 1. They're strip magnesium. Julie, highly inflammable and explosive. Burns at about 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a soft sound, and they all turn. 40, another angle. Kyle abruptly materializes out of thin air into their cell.
No. If Elizabeth is with him.
41, others astounded. Much like you are right now, actually. 42, on scene. Kyle shakes his head and then takes a step toward them, smiling. Kyle, hi. Where have I been? Julie, if you don't know, don't look at us. Donovan is trying to get a picture of what might have happened in Kyle's case, but it isn't forming. Donovan, you were on the leader's ship with Elizabeth. Kyle, right. Elizabeth did something. Took me into a sort of mental state, and that's the last thing I remember. Julie, where's Elizabeth? Why would she send you back and not come with you? Kyle, I'm as much in the dark as you are. Willie, maybe we should take care of first things first and get out of this cell while we can. 43, another angle. Donovan snaps out of his bafflement and starts applying the magnesium strips to the cell door. Donovan, Willie's right. Let's take care of what we do know first. We know we can do first. As soon as the door opens, we go for the guards. Ready?
Okay, why doesn't Kyle have more questions? Like, hey, why am I imprisoned? Hey, how did I transport? No, never mind. I don't know why I'm asking questions that these people weren't.
They all nod, and Donovan lights the magnesium. They cover as it catches and explodes, blowing the door off its hinges. 44, outside cell. They all come pouring out into the corridor and barrel for the main hallway. 45, interior hallway. The resistance bursts out into the main corridor as the alarm goes off all over the ship. Donovan, this way, toward the landing bay. They start down the hall toward the closed bulkhead that leads in that direction. Abruptly, it opens, and Diana and James are there. Weapons straight, and they open up. 46, on scene. Julie is hit directly and just vanishes and materializes in her tracks. Donovan is hit, falls and recovers as the others reverse their field and race away. 47, around a quarter. Donovan regains the lead and races toward the huge air intake ducts that give onto the corridor. Donovan, up here. Willie, anguished. Julie. Donovan. We can't blow our own lives for her, Willie. She's finished. She'd want us to go on. Lego is standing up. It is off screen at the moment. I think she might be swearing. Okay, she's back. And she's back.
Fuck her. She's dead. Let's get out of here.
She blew me off for that guy, Maitland. I'm done with her. So there is one death.
Oh,
Donovan heaves Kyle and Willie up and into the duct.
Here lies Julie. She died. Gotta go. Bye.
The OG resistance hero, the leader of the resistance from the original V the miniseries, died. I will say here, Faye Grant wanted out of the series at this point. That was true. So she's done. So this is definitely she was killed because Faye Grant no longer wanted to be involved in the show at this point.
And that's fine.
Right.
However, that's not how you fucking do it.
Now you don't kill off like one of the most important characters in your history of your show that way. I thought Elias was disrespectful. This is like one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen in media.
I mean, at least people mourned Elias.
Yeah. Again, we got Willie, Julie, and Donovan. Let's get going.
Donovan might actually be a sociopath.
I am wondering that at this point, the way they're going with this.
Remember his partner?
Tony.
Watch
on Leonetti. Yes, I do.
Yeah, he's finished. Gotta get out of here. Bye. Remember his unnamed offspring?
Sean?
No. Unnamed offspring. PLD. You're just making up names now. Overdoing it a little bit. He's finished. Bye.
He heaves Kyle and Willie up and into the duct just before Diana and James round the corner and go charging on out of sight, never seeing their quarry as it vanishes into the bowels of the ship.
Now, the fact that they don't have any like giant fans to block people in the ventilation shaft so they can kill them like they're Tanya in Idle Hands is ridiculous.
At this point, especially, come on.
Or, a lock on the ventilation.
Cut to 48, interior corridor. Diana and James stop, realizing they have blown it again and that the pursued have escaped. Diana, damn them. I want the ship torn apart to find them. Do you hear? Capture them at all costs. James salutes her and races away to give the order. 49, interior landing bay. Day, stock. The fleet is being readied for a general attack on Earth, and the place is a bustle with activity. 50, another angle. Stock. In one corner, preparations are being made for a monumental divine destruction ritual, which of course will never be held. Nevertheless, all sorts of items and elements are being assembled and arranged, many, if not most indeed, all of which...
What's the stock they're using?
Landing bay stocks, I'm guessing. That's all I can think of. No, this is just written weirdly, so here, bear with me here. Nevertheless, all sorts of items and elements are being assembled and arranged, many, if not most indeed, all of which have non-counterparts as things in themselves or factual, tangible entities or concepts on Earth, and hence are, fortunately, indescribable.
It's so fortunate that they're indescribable. Like, it's such a good fortune for us that we cannot describe them. Indeed.
So make it up. Basically, this long sentence to say, just show us something weird.
These people think they're very smart.
They do.
They've heard a lot of words. Indeed. So fortunate. So fortunate.
Cut to 51, interior bridge, day. Diana, Lydia, and Philip are together, and the sense of the meeting is decidedly strained. Philip, I think I'm entitled to know whether you intend to press an investigation against me, whether my loyalty is in question here.
Philip, we're beyond rules.
Yeah, you got to know that.
We're outlaws now, bitch.
Martial law. Diana, your loyalty. But Philip, what a quaint idea. Lydia, what must you think of us? Philip, don't play snake and mouse with me. I never labored under the impression that we were friends. Diana, Philip, can't we put this off until a more opportune moment? After all, the invasion force is making up in the landing bay. Lydia, it is our duty to say farewell to the pilots. Philip, let's get it over with and take care of what's between us. I don't want baseless suspicion hanging over me. Diana, there can be no
fuck. Like, make up your minds. Are there rules or are there no rules? Oh my god.
Diana, there can be no suspicion when no appearance of wrongdoing appears, Philip. If you are innocent, you have nothing to fear.
She was in prison. Okay.
Diana and Lydia go out, and Philip pauses ere he follows to deliver a swift aside. Philip Soto to himself. Except, of course, the heinous treachery of these two bitch cats lusting for my blood.
What? Philip better die. Bitch cats? Oh my god. Who wrote the script? Is the name on it?
It is. I'd have to go at the beginning. Hold on. I'll go. Give me 1 second. It was. I remember the names actually from previous V's. Written by David Braff and Paul F. Edwards. Story by Donald R. Boyle.
I'm gonna look them up later.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Cut to.
Is he still alive?
We'll find out.
Damn, all my social media is private.
You create a new social media just for that purpose.
Just to hate on V. Bitch, and I'll call it bitch cat.
At bitch cats lusting for my blood. Cut to 52, interior landing bay day. Long lines of pilots are approaching the alien military priest for blessing before heading for their final assignments.
Okay. Great Normal. Let's just keep
53. And another angle. Diana, Philip, and Lydia appear at one entry, looking across the bay toward the lines of combat-ready airmen and women. Diana, an impressive sight, our forces. Philip, positively inspiring. 54, their point of view. The lines of pilots moving toward their blessing. 55, online. Donovan, Julie, Kyle, and Willie are together, all dressed as alien pilots with helmets and visors on. As they approach the priest, there's a commotion, and they look off towards 56. Elizabeth.
No.
Who is on a balcony in the bay, having suddenly materialized from nowhere. Lines of aliens are pointing at her and shouting as 57, Diana, catches sight of Elizabeth and freaks. Diana roaring, it's Elizabeth, capture her. Widened to include Philip, baffled, and Lydia, intrigued. Lydia.
For what?
Lydia, how in the world is she? Philip, if we knew that, we'd know who'd killed the leader, if indeed he's dead. 58, angle on Elizabeth. As the troopers close in on her, she dematerializes as suddenly as she had appeared and leaves them snatching at air. 59, on Diana, furious and mystified. Her eyes rove the landing bay.
Okay, just snap Diana's neck and let's just be done with this.
60, on scene. Elizabeth suddenly materializes like Tinkerbell on another balcony overlooking the line in which 61. This is where it's like 61. Donovan and Julie are nearing the priest. Julie, undertone to Donovan. Elizabeth. What? Is it supposed to be Thelma or something? I don't know what it's supposed to be at that point. Did they just forget they wrote like 10 pages ago? This is the main reason I think there's some kind of, they must have cleaned up some script somewhere because 62, Kyle and Willie. Seeing her too, Willie restrains Kyle as 63 troopers converge on Elizabeth, moving closer to trap her. Again, she simply vanishes. 63 on Diana, Lydia, and Philip. Diana is raging, but cool. Diana, never mind her. She can't escape us. We'll launch the attack on Earth and then take her out at our leisure. And on her evil smile, we fade out. End of Act 2. Act 3. Fade in. 65.
Jesus.
Exterior mothership, day, stock. Skyfighters take off from inside the mothership. Their mission? Ravage the Earth. 66. Interior mothership, landing bay, day. Close on Donovan, Kyle, and Willie, all with helmet visors down as they inch closer along the anointment line. They see that when each pilot is anointed for his mission, the visor must be lifted. Kyle.
I mean, right now, you have no idea who I am. You're only going to know.
Better than Clark Kent. It's better than Clark Kent.
Hey, it makes sense, okay, if you watch the original Christopher Reeves movie, all right? And I think My Adventures with Superman did a pretty good job with it. And was absolutely adorable, and I think everyone should watch it. And it's really sad to me that not enough people have.
Have they not? Have they not? What? I'm sad. Have they not watched it? I
feel like a lot of people didn't watch it.
That's sad. It's getting season 2, so that's good.
That is good. It deserves it.
It does. I'm actually looking forward to it. I liked it quite a bit. But Kyle, Mike, let's get out of line. We've got to help Elizabeth. Donovan, if we make a move now, they'll spot us. Kyle, we can't leave her up here. Willie, I'm not sure she's really here. Donovan, what do you mean? Willie to Kyle, you are in the leader's either zone. Elizabeth may still be there. So Willie knows all about this, supposedly. That must be part of his doula training or something. I don't know. Maybe the babies go to the either zone too at some point. I have no idea. 67 angle Elizabeth. She materializes again and stands a few feet from 68 Diana, who sees the Star Child and reacts by reaching for Elizabeth, who vanishes as quickly as she appeared. 69 angle Philip and Lydia. As they enter the landing bay on the run, they see Elizabeth. Philip also sees 70 Donovan, lifting his visor to make sure his eyes are not deceiving him. And he really saw Elizabeth appear and disappear. Philip, 71. Philip runs toward Diana. Philip to Diana. I'll take some of these men and find her. Diana is too startled to do anything but agree to Philip's offer.
Why was the... Nah, just
quickly. It. Philip moves toward Donovan in line. He selects Donovan, Kyle, and Willie. Philip, you, and you, follow me. Donovan, Kyle, and Willie have no choice but to follow Philip. As they exit the landing bay, Lydia approaches a ruffled Diana. Lydia, if the Star Child's returned, perhaps the leader will too. Diana, if he does, I'll present him with a gift which has been so elusive. Total victory. Diana.
Okay. Okay, I got some follow-up questions.
You got some notes?
Okay, so like, all right, so we're like aliens, okay, and we have like this leader, and he's a fucking war criminal. He came, he saw, he conquered. All right, Napoleon Bonaparte. He has another enemy who we sent a signal out to a couple years ago, never heard back from. But he's conquered many a planet. But in this episode, they decided he's like of peace. Like, he's so peaceful, but he's like of peace. You know what I mean?
Well,
he likes guns. He likes peace. But then Diana's all like, I'm going to give our peace-loving, for this episode only, peace-loving leader total victory. He's gonna like and appreciate that I tried to murder him, because he's clearly like an all-knowing, like he could have a psychic link to anyone at any time, anywhere. What the fuck?
Yeah.
PLD. Does this make? Am I dumb? Does this make any sense?
No, none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense.
This doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, every sentence, every character, nothing makes sense. The only thing that makes sense is stock footage.
About right. It's about right.
Like, the writing is so bad.
It is so bad.
I can't even process it. I've seen 80s horror movies that make more sense.
This would be the worst episode in the history of the show, and that's saying something, for sure. Which is why after reading this, I wonder if this was good, at least a first draft. Maybe they had to do a couple drafts to get like just as bad as we got at the end of the season. I don't know. But let's push through on Diana's bold posturing. Cut to 72 interior corridor day. Philip, Donovan, Kyle, and Willie are running down the hallway. As they hurry past a squad of visitor troops, Donovan slows down, grabbing Philip's arm. Donovan, slow down. I think an explanation is in order. Philip, as soon as we get into my quarters. Kyle, that better be soon. James is still after us. Willie, correction. He found us. 73, Angle, James. Flanked by 2 guards, the lieutenant strides toward them from the far end of the corridor. 74, Philip hits a wall button and the door opens. Philip, in here. Donovan, Kyle, and Willie follow Philip into 75. Interior Philip's quarters. Continuous action. Day.
Ooh.
The door closes behind them. They're safe for the time being. Donovan. Okay, what's going on? Philip. I haven't put all... That's a great question.
Same. Same.
I haven't put all the pieces together, but apparently Diana's attempted assassination of the leader has failed. Kyle. Well, then where is he? And where's Elizabeth?
Dude, why can't you just go over a PA system that we know exists and say Diana has tried to kill the leader? We are no longer going to war because the leader wanted a peace treaty. Diana is under arrest with James and Lydia. See how I just solved your entire fucking problem?
I guess they don't want to do that until the leader gets there. At least they can't. They don't know if the leader survived or not, really.
It doesn't matter. Attempted murder of the leader is still a fucking crime, which she's committed for the second time.
Perhaps the warriors of the warlike race, and they actually want to do this, and they don't care what the leader says. I don't know.
PLD, you're killing me.
I'm trying. Kyle, well then where is he? And where's Elizabeth? Philip, I wish I knew the answer to those questions, Kyle. Beat. But at the moment, I think what's most important is to get you off the mothership. Kyle shakes his head no. Not without Elizabeth. Philip looks to Donovan for help. None is forthcoming.
She's finished. Let's save ourselves. Like Donovan.
Willie. She is the only hope for Earth. Without her, Diana will never be stopped.
She's Obi-Wan Kenobi now. She's Obi-Wan Kenobi now.
She's been a Jedi the whole time. Might as well be the big one. Philip, I'll find her. Then when it's safer, I can get her off the mothership. Kyle, angry. You don't seem to understand something. You're not calling the shots anymore. Kyle draws a laser pistol and points it at Philip. Kyle, now you're going to lead us into every nook and cranny of this ship until we find her. Philip looks to Donovan and Willie. He's willing to cooperate. Willie to Kyle, put the gun away. Donovan, no. Off Philip's look. For Caught, I wanted to look like you had no choice. We're holding you hostage. Philip, you don't have to protect me, Mike. Donovan, I know. Beat. I want to. Donovan and Philip
just
share a look.
Already.
Donovan and Philip share a look.
Just fuck already.
Despite this frightening reversal, they're still friends, still trusting in one another. Donovan, we're still going to need a fifth column. Willie, now more than ever, on Willie's knowing nod. Cut to 76, exterior mothership day. Stock. 2 skyfighters emerge from the mothership and fly toward the Earth to join in the alien assault. 77, exterior Los Angeles day. Stock. The war is raging. A pair of skyfighters sweep in and out of the clear blue sky and devastate a city block with laser fire. Cut to 78, exterior visitor Jeep day. Stock. Surrounded by a squad of shock troops, the Jeep moves forward down the narrow urban street, its mounted laser cannon taking target practice on the bombed-out buildings where a handful of disorganized fighters put up a pitiful resistance. They are soon silenced by marauding aliens. Cut to 79, exterior Skyfighter, day, stock. It swoops down from on high, chases a man down a street, and as the man jumps for cover, the Skyfighter unleashes a laser barrage that blows a nearby building to smithereens. Pull back to reveal that the war action is being watched on a video monitor. 80, interior mothership, bridge, day. Diana has been observing the on-screen destruction. She is clearly pleased. James enters the shot and stops for a beat to watch the havoc being caused by the visitor strike force on the monitor. James, things are going well. Diana nods. Beyond even my expectations. James, we always knew this planet was a rotting piece of fruit just waiting to be picked from the vine. That doesn't even make, like, you don't want to run. I'll just continue. 81, insert monitor stock. A skyfighter fires a laser at a vulnerable resistance fortress, and the structure is engulfed in an orange fireball. 82, back to scene. Diana smiles triumphantly. Diana finishing James's thought, and squashed. And this time we won't encounter the resistance we've had in the past. Diana looks at James, who remains silent. Isn't that right, Lieutenant? I assume that since you joined me on the bridge, you've completed your assignment. James, we don't actually have them in custody, but I assure you, Commander, the rebels will not leave the mothership. Before any craft leaves, the landing bay is being inspected from top to bottom. Quite simply, Donovan and his friends are trapped. Diana, how many times have I heard you tell me that? I don't want to hear your predictions, Lieutenant. I want the resistance captured and done away with. Diana reaches for a button on the monitor control panel. Diana, now where were they last spotted?
This is a PA system. I'm going to flip a fucking table.
It's a monitor control panel. That's all it is. 83, insert monitor. Diana punched up a surveillance camera's POV of a mothership corridor. It's empty. 84, back to the scene. James, near the galley, but they're in uniform. It's difficult, if not impossible, to stock and check all personnel. Diana, yes, of course. You always seem to be encountered by one problem or another. Diana's penetrating look at James. Cut to 85, interior mothership corridor. Day. Donovan, Willie, and Kyle, who had his laser pistol trained on Philip, hurry down the hallway. They are looking for Elizabeth. Donovan, I get the feeling this is going to be like finding a needle in a haystack. Kyle, worse. Beat. The needle keeps disappearing. Suddenly, Willie turns his head. He hears something. Donovan, what is it? Willie, listen. Elizabeth, off screen, calling softly. Kyle. Elizabeth, where are you? No response. Elizabeth. On Kyle's look of frustration. Cut to 84, interior bridge. Day. Diana and James are watching Philip and the resistance members on the monitor. Diana can barely hide her elation. James, they have Commander Philip at gunpoint. Diana, yes, he's very clever, just like his brother. I'm sure it's a ploy designed to support his claims of loyalty. James, I'll order their capture at once. My men are patrolling near the corridor. James reaches into his holster and produces a tiny communicator. Before he can speak into it, Diana, that won't be necessary. They're approaching the ship's compacting quarters.
Are you? No.
Diana's lack of complete control. Cut to 87, interior corridor. Day. Kyle is pounding on the walls, vainly searching for Elizabeth. Donovan, Philip, and Willie search to where there's nothing but thin air. Kyle, Elizabeth, don't fade on me. Philip, she cannot escape the mental clutches of the leader. He has a powerful hold on her. Kyle, emotional. You can break the hold, Elizabeth. You're one of us. You belong with us. With me. As Kyle pounds the wall of the corridor one more time, then leans on the wall, exhausted and frustrated, Willie approaches. Willie, come on, Kyle. We've got to keep looking. She passed through here. We will find her. Kyle nods, not really believing Willie, but he realizing he must continue the search. Kyle, all right, let's go. The four men start moving down the corridor. Just before they reach a doorway, 88, angle, floor. The floor opens at their feet, and Donovan, Kyle, Willie, and Philip drop through the trap door. On their looks of total surprise,
The trap door.
89.
The trap door.
Interior mothership, compacting room. Day.
This? Okay.
The empty room consists of four stark walls. Suddenly, a flap opens on one of the walls, and Donovan comes sliding down in a chute and into the room. He is followed by Kyle, Philip, and Willie. They all land on the seat of their pants, dazed and confused by their instantaneous entrapment. Kyle, what the? Donovan, where are we? Willie, he knows. You don't want to know. Philip, we're in the ship's compacting quarters. As Philip finishes his thought, two of the walls begin to converge. Kyle, uh-oh. So it's like it might get sticky as the walls continue to move together. Yes, we are copying A New Hope. 90, Elizabeth appears. She is flustered and confused, unable to stabilize her physical presence. Kyle, Elizabeth, are you okay? Elizabeth shakes her head no. I have no control. Kyle, can you get us out of here? Elizabeth, I'll try, but Donovan, we don't expect any guarantees. As Elizabeth begins to muster her powers, tighten on her eyes as they take on that special intensity. Yeah, voiceover. You found Starchild. 91 interior bridge day. Lydia has joined James and Diana. They are all watching the scene being played out in the compacting room on the monitor. Diana, yes, and at a most opportune moment, beat. When those walls come together, we'll have eliminated not only the heart of the resistance and the fifth column, but Elizabeth as well. Lydia, I must admit, Diana, you made a most unusual and successful comeback. Diana, a comeback? Darling, I never left. As Diana casts a conceited glance at Lydia.
Bitch.
Two bitch cats. Come on, that's what they are. 92 interior compacting room day. The walls continue to slowly converge. Elizabeth is struggling to stop the pincher movement, but she's having no luck at all. Her powers aren't working. Kyle, encouraging. Come on. All we need is a little more juice. 93, close on Elizabeth as she reaches inside for whatever's left. And suddenly, she is gone, dematerialized. Everyone reacts. Willie, we lost her. Kyle, no! On Kyle's look of anxiety and the walls getting closer and closer, cut to 94, limbo area of darkness. Elizabeth stands amid the mysterious ethereal zone, shuddering and trembling in the unseen presence of the leader. Leader, voiceover. You are bound to me, Elizabeth. They are bonds of blood as well as spirit and cannot be broken. Elizabeth, please bring Kyle back. Leader, voiceover. He is unfit. No human is worthy of the Star Child. Elizabeth, I love him. Please, I want to be with him. Leader, voiceover. It cannot be. Elizabeth, why? You allowed me to journey this far. You led me to believe Kyle could stay. Beat. You deceived me. On Elizabeth's look of anguish, cut to 95, interior mothership bridge day. Diana, Lydia, and James watch the monitor. They see the inside of the compacting room as the walls close to within a few feet. Diana, the Star Child may prove difficult to catch, but as for the others, they will harass us no more. 96, insert monitor. Donovan, Philip, Kyle, Willie, and Kyle are out of breathing room. Tighten on Donovan as the walls press into his ribs. He looks at Kyle for what they each know is the last time. Donovan, so long, old buddy. Kyle, it's been a gas. As the four prepare to die, fade out. End of Act 3. Act 4, I think the final act. Hopefully. Fade in. 97, limbo of darkness. Elizabeth is still in the veiled presence of the leader, engaged in a tug of wills with the big fella.
If she, oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Leader, voiceover. You must learn to be patient, Elizabeth. You are a ruler now. Elizabeth, not until I bring you the onyx.
So she is a child bride.
Leader, voiceover. You will do that now. Elizabeth shakes her head. No, I won't. I do not wish to rule with you. Not if it is to mean conquest and humiliation. Leader, voiceover. You speak as a human. That is not your nature. Elizabeth, yes, it is. I am of two worlds, and I choose the other. 98, close on Elizabeth. On the sheer strength of her will, she dematerializes. Cut to 99, interior compacting room day. Donovan, Kyle, Philip, and Willie are caught in the vice-like grip of the two walls. As the converging walls start to squeeze them, Elizabeth materializes. Kyle, Elizabeth, I need you to come back. 100 on Elizabeth. She doesn't hear a word Kyle says. She's concentrating with all her might. 101 on Donovan. His chest is about to be pushed into his spinal cord. Donovan to Elizabeth. Philip and Willie look on hopefully as Elizabeth does her stuff. 102, close on Elizabeth's eyes. They glow with energy. 103, full shot. The walls stop closing. The group is saved. As they all heave sighs of release, Elizabeth collapses, unconscious. Cut to 104, interior mothership bridge day. Diana and Lydia see what has happened in the compacting room on the monitor. They are shocked. Lydia, you butchered again, Diana?
Why would you be okay.
105, insert monitor. Donovan leaves the group through the flap in the wall that was their entry into the compacting room. 106, back to scene. Diana, they won't get far. There's only one way off this ship. Calls out, James. James leaves the computer where he has been watching a monitor and joins Diana and Lydia. Yes, James. Yes, Commander. Diana, secure the landing bay at once. James hastily turns to leave as two of his men fall in behind him. Diana, I don't want them alive. Beat. The only way I'd be certain I'd be rid of them is if I do it myself.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
That's kind of okay. James accepts the command and hurries out an opening door. 107 on Diana. She watches Willie on the monitor as she scrambles into the flap into the wall. Everyone has escaped. On Diana's seething look. Cut to 108 interior mothership corridor day. Donovan, Philip in his grasp, comes running around a corner toward camera. He is followed by Willie and Kyle, who carry the still unconscious Star Child. Donovan to Philip. Which way? Philip. Straight ahead and then to the left. The landing base just beyond the door. Kyle. I hope you've arranged our departure. Philip nods. The Skyfighter is waiting. I don't know when he did that, but okay. 109, another angle. A squad of visitor troops enters the corridor. Full shot. As the troops confront the resistance, Donovan jerks Philip closer and holds up his laser gun to show the troops he's serious. Donovan, one shot and your commander's finished. The troops hold their fire. Donovan, now let us through. The troops part to allow them to pass. Philip to troops. No, don't listen to him. Shoot, they're with the resistance. Donovan is surprised to hear Philip's command. The troops raise their guns to fire. Donovan to troops. You have a lot of explaining to do. Reason Philip. He's the leader's best friend.
I have no idea what just happened.
Basically, Donovan saying that Philip is the leader's best friend, so you better not shoot and better not get him killed, as he's telling these troopers here. The troopers hold their fire as resistance members pass. Donovan to Philip. What was that all about? Philip, I had to sound convincing. Donovan, not that convincing. Pass through a doorway and enter. 111, landing bay. Day, continuous action. As our people spring for a waiting Skyfighter, a platoon of visitor troops stationed at the landing bay opens fire. They lay down a vicious laser
The leader
barrage.
can speak telepathically to anyone. This is canon. They told us this.
Mm-hmm.
He said the ceasefire. Proceed.
They laid out a vicious laser barrage. 112 angle catwalk. James looks down as Willie gets Elizabeth into the Skyfighter. Kyle returns the visitor's laser fire, as does Donovan, who still holds Philip hostage. James calls out, ceasefire. Shooting stops. James to the resistance. As far as you go. Lay down your weapons and your lives will be spared. 113 angle.
Make it literally make that make sense.
Diana
The
told me
leader
once
is a
alive.
lot. Like, what the... Dude, you can't do anything to Philip.
113 angle. Willie. He leans out of the Skyfighter, brandishing a laser pistol. He fires and hits 114 James, who loses his balance and falls off the catwalk as he plunges to the floor of the landing bay. 115 Donovan hustles Philip and Kyle into the Skyfighter. So Willie kills James. 116, a full shot. As the troops blast away with their lasers, the Skyfighter takes off. 117, another angle. Diana and Lydia enter the landing bay just in time to see the Skyfighter take off. Diana after them. Diana and Lydia run for a nearby Skyfighter and quickly board it. Cut to 118, exterior, mothership, day, stock. A Skyfighter emerges from the belly of the mothership. It carries Philip, Donovan, Kyle, Willie, and Elizabeth, who is yet to regain consciousness. As the Skyfighter zooms toward Earth, 119, second Skyfighter emerges from the mothership. Piloted by Diana, it pursues the escaping craft. 120, exterior starfighter chase, day, stock. Diana pursues her quarry in a wild chase, which culminates when she finally shoots Donovan's Skyfighter and it hustles towards Earth. 121, exterior crash, day, stock. We see the starfighter disappear behind a hill. 122, another angle, crash site, day. Donovan, Kyle, Elizabeth, and Willie emerge from the wreckage of their starfighter, and Elizabeth has come out of her state of limbo. She looks around her senses springing into full function as Donovan. It looks like we're afoot from here on out, gang. Elizabeth, there, over that ridge. Kyle, what? What's there, Elizabeth? Elizabeth, safety and escape. Hurry. She takes off at a run, the others racing after her. 123, exterior, country road, day. A winding track through the rugged hills, and there beside his hot rod road warrior car is 124, Ham Tyler, grinning from ear to ear. Ham, welcome, you raggedy bunch of fugitives.
No.
125 on our group.
No.
Dumbfounded, except for Elizabeth, who unhesitatingly runs up to Ham and gives him a giant hug. Ham, hello, kid. Long time. He looks at the others. 126, his point of view group. Jaws agape. Donovan, this I really don't believe. 127 on Ham. Ham. I knew it was only a matter of time until we bawling you turkeys out again. Getting in. Get in. 128 on scene. They all pile into Ham's vehicle as the first signs of pursuit appear in the hills behind them toward the crash site. Ham, looks like your friends are right on your tail. Hang on. He drives into the cockpit and drops his rig in low and just flat rips away in a violent cloud of dust and gravel. The new/old resistance is taking its act on the road again. 129, exterior mothership day to establish. 130, interior mothership bridge day. As Lydia is at the command station, Diana enters. Diana, have the latest battle reports come in? Ensign, victory on all fronts, Commander. It's only a matter of time before all key areas are secured, the others destroyed. Lydia, the armistice lulled them into a false sense of security. Diana, as it should have. The announcement was pure genius on the part of the leader. Lydia, you mean he planned this as a deception from the beginning? Diana, don't tell me you were deceived, Lydia. Really, I always gave you more credit.
Wait. What happened?
Diana is saying that this was all planned by the leader. This was all planned by the leader. While you're right there, Diana now notices 131, Philip. He stands at the observation window staring down on Earth. Wasn't he in the Skyfighter? He wasn't with them when he went to Ham, I guess, so I guess he found a way back, I guess. 132 on scene. Diana crosses to him.
Okay,
Diana.
so... No, just go ahead.
Something wrong, Inspector? Philip. No, why would you ask? Diana. The look in your face was not the look of a soldier at peace with himself. Philip. Peace. What would you know of peace, Diana, except how to misuse it as a disguise for evil? Diana. Then you disagree with the leader's orders for an all-out assault. Philip. I disagree with nothing the leader orders, only in how to implement it. Diana. Curious. That was not my impression. Philip. A caution, Diana, for the days and for the battles to come. Do not underestimate me. Diana. Do you think I might? Philip. What I think and what I do are no concern to you. On neither level will I be accountable to you, even with the leader's presence aboard this ship. Diana. No disrespect intended, Inspector. I seem to remember how fondly you welcomed the Earthlings and how warmly you bade them farewell. Philip. If you were as brave as they are in battle, I would do the same for you. Diana. Then prepare yourself. Someday you might have to. The smile, she turns to exit the bridge. 133 on Philip. He realizes that Diana will always prove a dangerous adversary. 134. Interior. We're running. This is almost the end here. Interior ship's corridor. Day. Diana marches to enter her quarters. 135. Interior Diana's quarters. Day. The door shuts and she turns to sit at her dressing table to study herself in the mirror. A long, slow smile spreads in satisfaction until she hears leader voiceover. You have good reason to be proud, Diana. You have given us both much pleasure. Diana stiffens, alert, scanning the room, but there is no sign of the leader. Leader, close your eyes, Diana. Come, be one with me. Diana closes her eyes, camera moves in, and she dematerializes. 136, and interior ether zone. As before, a mass of swirling dark clouds punctuated in the distance by the source, the diffused window of white light as Diana materializes in. Diana, I am here with you. 137, on white light. The massive amorphous form of the leader ascends into the archway, the white light behind him diffusing his huge silhouette. 138 on Diana, she kneels. 139 on scene, leader. You are the anointed one, Diana, my choice for the most special, most critical of all missions. Diana, ask, I shall obey, leader. Leader, the Star Child must be recaptured. She must be brought back to me. Diana, I understand. Her escape is an insult to us all. Leader, silence. She has stolen the secret of the ancients. She knows of the Annex, the source of every and all great power. With it, she will become even greater than I. Diana, she has it with her? Leader, no, only the knowledge of its existence is with her. That and the syllabus of the ancients, which tells the allegory of his location on Earth. Diana, then I will regain the syllabus. Leader, you must. For if she reaches the location before you, if the Star Child finds the sacred annex before I can find her, all is lost. I will be nothing, and the Earth will rule us. 140 on Diana. Diana, I hear and obey. She salutes and leaves, rises to leave. 141 on leader. Leader, Diana. 142 on scene. She turns back. Diana, yes. 143 on leader. Leader, if you fail, I will not be the first to die. You will go before me. Moving close on Diana. Diana, I understand. And as we intercut the full impact, we time cut to 144 exterior country road day. As Ham's vehicle races in from the distance to slow to a stop, the resistance rises up to look at 145 New Frontier. As far as the eye can see, the mixed remnants of a war gone wrong, cities, farms, villages. 146 on our group. Donovan and Kyle, Willie and Ham, most of all, the star child. Kyle turns to her. Kyle, does any of this do anything for you? Have any special meaning at all? 147 on Elizabeth. She concentrates, closing her eyes, scanning her unconsciousness across the far horizon. Finally, she shakes no in frustration. Elizabeth, I'm sorry, nothing. 148 on scene, Donovan turns to Willie. Donovan, what about the syllabus? Willie reverently holds up a worn, bound volume, looks to Elizabeth for permission. Willie, may I? Elizabeth, please, read it out loud. Willie reads, Mental lore no latumana annex alivik ula. Donovan, Willie, in English. Willie, oh, sorry. Follow the wind for the source of all knowledge to a place that lasts forever, where your heart will sing. Donovan to Elizabeth, you know a place like that? Elizabeth, no. Kyle, swell. And how are we going to find it? Donovan, by working our way to it. Right, Ham? Ham, why should this be any different? Donovan, through every city and town, farm and village, until Elizabeth's heart sings. Kyle, with the war going on out there? Donovan nods. Sometimes we'll be caught in it. Kyle, and
what in the croll is happening?
Kyle, and when we're not, Donovan will help those who are. Ham to Kyle. Hey, you want it to be easy? Donovan, come on, Kyle. That's the future out there. Let's go live it. As they all slide down happily into the vehicle to start off, we freeze frame, fade out, the end. And if you're lucky, and if you can find them, maybe you too can hire.
No,
the
don't
V
you
team.
dare.
The
Don't
V
you
team.
dare. Don't you dare lower the A team and insult them by comparing them to this. This was hot garbage.
Okay, I agree. But you see what I mean about a complete shift of what the second season was going to be. It was going to be the A team. It was going to be the Resistance, as an A team going across the country with the lore in the background.
They're looking for the magical MacGuffin. I'm trying to think of what I could even potentially compare this to. That's not
It's
like
the A team with a magic MacGuffin. That's really what it is, because they're going to be
I'm
going
trying to
from
think of
town
something
to
with a
town.
magical MacGuffin, and all I'm thinking is like the MCU and Horcruxes and stuff. But that's not a good comparison.
Yeah, Jones, they're more religious. But I don't know. But either way, Ham comes back. So Ham was coming back for season 2. So we would have had Donovan, Kyle, Willie, Ham, and Elizabeth. That would have been our new leading pack. Would Diana have even been?
Did they really think they could get Michael Ironside? Did they really think that?
They did. That was planned. He was in contact with them.
Michael,
he wanted to come
better
back.
than this.
He wanted to come back.
Michael, why?
There's quotes from him. There are quotes from him throughout the rest of the 80s saying he had unfinished business with Ham Tyler.
You sweet, sweet man. What a wonderful person. What a gem. Just a gem.
So I know, but I'm the optimistic one. If we got in season 2, I would have gotten Donovan and Ham back together again. And that could have been worth it. And you have the
Donovan, Ham, Kyle, Willie,
and Elizabeth. But not bad. But going through, like we said, we would have had a war-torn country. No LA, would have been going from different place to different place, seeing kind of like a Road Warrior kind of thing going on too a little bit at this point. There could have been a lot of potential for some cool stuff. Yes, we'd have to swallow the annex crap and the dialogue like that about seeing coal, but possibilities of having maybe something. Maybe I'm being too optimistic. I'm saying if we switch writers, switch things, the concept could have been cool, potentially.
It is such a mess. I can't even comprehend how they got here, and I watched it.
Going back to like the original, and
I'm
like
talking about just from episode 1 of the
the
own
weekly
show.
series. Okay.
Like, what? Why would you then say the leader can be in touch telepathically? Why have a whole thing about fake? You're overcomplicating things, and clearly you've gotten it over your head. You've drowned. You have drowned. Oh, PLD. PLD.
Probably the worst. Would have been the worst episode by far. James and Julie die. I mean, James' death or whatever.
And so when James, but with Julie so unceremoniously, like at that point, do they just not like Julie?
I kind of think
Like
so.
the actress?
I feel like Faye Grant started giving them shit. I mean, I don't know. This is me speculating. Let me put that out there. I have no idea.
Because I'm kind of thinking, I don't know why. I'm just getting a little bit. I know because even she had a send off, but I was thinking like Prue from Charm, like the actress was fired, but even like, and it was kind of unceremonious. Like we come back and it's like her funeral. But I mean, even they had like characters in mourning for seasons, plural. I don't know. That's just, I don't know if I've ever seen a main character killed off so No. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But it was the very last episode.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel like I did read what I did read is that Faye Grant did not, like I said, she was unhappy. And I do think she kind of voiced her unhappiness a few times. I kind of feel like they were like, fine, get rid of her. And they decided to do it that. And I don't have any,
It's bizarre.
It's just really bizarre. And Donovan's response is even worse. That's the worst part about it. Donovan, the guy who's established.
And I'm pretty sure they actually were fucking. So like that's.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Now I know why he doesn't talk about his son anymore. He really is just a sociopath.
He might be. Because I don't know
how
he was.
Sean is a little sociopath. He learned it from his daddy.
I mean, let's go back to the final battle when at the hospital scene when Julie shuts Donovan or Julie and the ambulance guy. They shut the door on the resistance to get them up to the space, and Julie runs off the other way. And Donovan tries to go down the ladder and bust the door open. It takes Robert Maxwell and Elias to convince him to leave Julie behind. And yet here we are now at this point. She wouldn't want us to die. Let's get going.
Well, he doesn't really. They're not, doing the horizontal hokey pokey anymore.
True. That's true.
Right. He fell in love with the horseback riding chick who, let's face it, was a lot cooler.
Definitely more his style, I think, too. I think they fit well together.
What a terrible.
That is definitely almost better that they ended it where they did. We didn't have to deal with this. Julie's not dead. If they ever want to do something, Julie's not dead at this point. But I do what I was trying to push. I'll say it again. I do like the ending. The ending is more of an ending, at least, without as far as like, sure, it's open ended, but it's not quite the cliffhanger type. There's a bomb on the ship. Now we're just at the war is ongoing and we're shifting and doing something else. That kind of thing. That I would have liked. I would have liked to have seen Ham one more time. He has like pretty stupid lines. I think Michael Ironton would have made that better. And Ham and Road Warrior vehicle would be pretty cool.
They would just be going, Elizabeth, is your heart singing? I don't know. Tell me more about this human heart.
It's actually worse too. We would get an episode with Robin in at some point because they would be driving cross country or something like that. She'd like, they would get her back for an episode or two. Well, maybe they would have gotten Chris back too. Maybe Mickey Jones would have showed up, and that would have been worth it, like a trade off.
Who?
Cap's partner, Chris Faber.
Who?
Mickey Jones.
I got it with Barber because I always called him Barber.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we have reverse name things.
Maybe that's what it is. All right. Well, we're not going to rate this one, even in our rating episode, because it doesn't count because we don't get to see it in action. and because we don't know what draft this was or whatever. But it's definitely worthwhile to have done this.
It's
I'm
a
very
half a star.
happy to see your reaction to it. You definitely won the day here, and you reacted as pretty much how I expected. I'm impressed you're still on screen. You're a professional through and through. I got to give you that. So let me entertain you a little bit more with the Writer's Bible, with some of the Writer's Bible entries.
Yeah, do you know how I feel about you calling it that?
According to the V Writer's Guide, a Bible. This is from Fascist Lizards, by the way. Fascist Lizards from Outer Space. The culture, what is it? Let me read it again out loud. Fascist Lizards from Outer Space, the politics, literary influences, and cultural history of Kenneth Johnson's V by Dan Copp. And it says, and I quote, according to the V Writer's Guide, a Bible to which the creative staff of the 1984 weekly series allegedly adhered, the similarities between similarities between V the series and the late night soap operas that dominated primetime television during the 1980s were no coincidence. The document dated June 27th, 1984 begins by summarizing the series premise, but quickly takes a turn for the worse when it cites the inspiration of the show's tone. From the Bible. We here at V like to say that our show is 75% Star Wars and 25% Dallas, or alternately that it's All My Children on Mars. The joke is not.
Hold up. I'm like stopped functioning. Like, you guys made Dallas look like, I don't know, like a golden god.
Right. Yep, very much.
And by the way, Dallas is actually pretty good.
I never watched it very much.
Up until they decided to unkill some people and say a lot of like a season was a dream sequence. Then it got a little weird. But Dallas wasn't bad.
Mark Singer actually joined Dallas after V was canceled for a season.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
Yeah. Interesting. The joke is not far from true, for V has attracted a loyal audience unheard of for an imagination show since the glory days of Twilight Zone. We feel that one of the reasons, besides intelligent writing, is the intriguing personal stories of life betrayal and anguish we intertwine with our action. And since we have
where
since we have
any of those words you just used, any of those descriptors, I saw none of those. Intelligence.
And since we have,
they barely did lies and betrayal. They're all surface level. They only last an episode. I'm just.
And since we have some gloriously manipulative vamps and villains, there's great fun to be had here. If we ever do a cliffhanger season ending, it might very well be who shot JR with a ray gun. Okay, let me continue with some other co-stop.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Okay, go ahead.
So to be clear, I really want to clear this up. It's the who shot JR thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who shot JR was some of the best marketing for a television show
ever.
That's it. Some of the best marketing from a television show, period, ever. Like I saw a Who Shot JR commercial once in 2011 when they were rerunning some episodes. Like that is the staying power of that. Okay. That was a cultural phenomenon. I would compare it to Barbenheimer. Like it was a big fucking deal. That had a lot of viewers. I mean, not quite last episode of MASH viewers.
Right.
Okay, not quite last episode of Cheers viewers. But it had like millions of people tuning in. Like a TV show nowadays will never get viewership like that because no one's watching that like one show at a time like they did back then.
Right.
That had so many people invested. Girl, you didn't do anything comparable to Who Shot JR. Not even the original miniseries that it. Well, I mean, maybe, but
the original miniseries was right. It's not cliffhanger thing. The original miniseries was that kind of a big event, cultural event at that point. But you're right, not the cliffhanger one.
But I could go up to someone. I think I would have much more likely have them know what I'm talking about if I say Who Shot JR. Then they have them know who or what V is. If I'm talking like someone my age or younger.
I don't necessarily. Well, that's a good possibility. I don't.
I'm
That's an
just
argument to be made.
haven't talked
I
to
think
people my age.
V is the hardest thing to say because V is a one-letter title, so the title
I
itself is
know,
kind of
very
thing.
pre-internet.
Right, exactly. So it's hard to like
Although
see that.
Dallas is the name of a city, so also
But
pre-internet.
that's true. I guess if you kind of like if you talked about like Diana eating something, like a visitors eating mice and stuff, that was culturally relevant, and people, oh, I kind of remember. I mean, or you remember the lizard aliens where they're ripping the face off?
Yeah, I
They
just
remember
don't think
that.
anyone outside of someone who was alive in the 80s, for the most part, really knows that.
Interesting.
I'm just saying you're much more likely to find someone who knows what Dallas is over who knows what V is.
Interesting. I disagree, but I don't. I'm not. It's not a strong disagree. It's like I don't know. I don't really don't know what the answer is. To be honest with you, I get your point and I acknowledge it, but I'm not
And
sure.
I'm including the remake show too.
Oh yeah, the remake show kind of came and went.
I don't
If
know
only
how
the only thing that thing did was maybe reintroduce the old one back into the mindset. Like, oh, this was a show from the '80s back in the day. But all right, let me continue with a few more pieces there. While outlining the show's dramatis persona, the writer's guide hams up Diana to cartoon-like villainy. Diana has several goals beyond the conquest of the Earth. She never ceases plotting revenge on Donovan, the man who once defeated and captured her. She is constantly hunting for the star child, Elizabeth, a child Diana briefly controlled and even tortured. And she also seeks Elizabeth's mother, Robin, in the hopes of spawning another star child, one more disposed to the visitor's plans.
no. That's
Yeah.
it. No.
No, and that's not much to say there. This is an interesting one. Speaking of the Star Child, the writer's guide dedicates several passages to her character arc.
Well, hang on. I mean, first of all, why does it have to be Robin? You could just get another teenage girl to have an inappropriate relationship. But
Well,
it should
they
have to be Brian because clearly he was the child of the
royal
leader.
blood. That's true. Well, I will argue the other point. They did mention at one point there's some doubt Robin's for whatever reason Robin's DNA was working more than any other
And
had.
also, Robin does have two sisters.
That's true. Could have gotten them. That's true. All right. When Johnson created Elizabeth in the early drafts of the final battle, he envisioned the alien-human hybrid to serve as a symbol to unite both warring species. She was not to wield any mystical powers or possess any kind of super abilities, but subsequent rewrites of the final battle changed that when Elizabeth saved humanity by magically halting the mothership's self-destruct device. The 1984 weekly series takes Elizabeth's powers to even more ludicrous direction,
Yeah.
as described by the V Writer's Guide. Elizabeth is 18 months old and looks 18 years old. She has strange powers, abilities, and racial memories, which no one, including her, can yet understand. She is the product of the human-alien mating described above. She is thus the bridge between both sides in this war, a bridge with the potential of being turned into a weapon. Thus, she is zealously sought and zealously guarded. All of this is confusing and frightening to a child/woman with an unmeasurable IQ and virtually no life experience at all. But this is a girl who has never seen a childhood, never seen peace, never seen a normal existence. She is unsure of even her own identity. In a way, she is a combination of Mr. Spock and Paul Atreides of Dune, another teen with strange potential sought by galactic powers. But when she meets Kyle Bates, another youth trying to block feelings and emotions, there's an undeniable attraction. Attraction as threatening to all our characters as it is irresistible.
Threat. Okay. It's so dumb.
It is. It is. I'm not going to read. There's one more bit about Diana and Lydia's relationship, but it's just not even worth talking about.
Wait, no, I have to know now.
Okay. All right. I'll read it. I'll read it.
You brought it up.
The writer's guide also underscores the rivalry between Diana and her second-in-command, Lydia, mirroring the memorable on-screen spats between Joan Collins and Linda Evans in Dynasty. The guidelines initially described Lydia as the Gestapo to Diana's Waffen-SS, but quickly plummet into campy platitudes to augment the backstabbing skullduggery within the visitor ranks. They actually use the word skullduggery. Although of equal rank,
themselves the Dynasty.
Although equal rank to Diana, Lydia answers to a different authority, an authority that is unfortunately 8.7 light years away, despite the fact that he can communicate. The writer's guide reads, they did not have that line in there. Thus, these two alien females alternately support and undermine each other, depending on which way the winds and the battles are going. As the head of Fleet of Security, Lydia is in a position to make her own deals behind Diana's back, both with Bates and the Resistance. So there's a lot of skullduggery and deception going on at all times, on all sides.
Thinking positive thoughts.
We're almost done. I got a few more things to talk about. Here we go. The Honest Guide also included a handful of network-approved storylines that delve even deeper into cringeworthy territory, such as a proposed premise about visitor bikers. AWOL renegade visitor bikers are a threat somewhere, and Kyle Bates violates resistance orders and takes his own group of bikers to combat them, possibly to rescue Sean? ? Note, this one can change as much as we need. All NBC really wants to see is kids on bikes and alien Harleys.
I think I've started to cry.
Other proposed storylines that were never filmed include a whodunit of sorts, when visitors and humans work against the clock to solve a case involving the slaying of key visitor personnel in or around the Los Angeles visitor delegation, a resistance mission to seek and destroy a secret alien R&R retreat filled with high-ranking visitor officials and a medical thriller about a virulent epidemic that threatens both humans and visitors, forcing the two factions to work together to uncover a cure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to read everything because I want somebody to actually go buy the book. So I'm going to skip there's a couple of figurant quotes in there. There's an Michael Ironside quote, but more not talking about how bad the show is, more talking about how hard the show is. But I do want one I want to read. And this was Robert Englund, who in some of the quotes he mentioned, he wanted the show needed a little more stakes, gravitas, needed to be more like alien torture, like when Michael Ironside or Mark Singer was captured. They need to be tortured like in the original miniseries. There need to be like real consequences to them being captured and things like that, which I totally agree with. Made a mistake of killing off too many original cast members. They had one of the greatest achievements in diversity. We had a huge demographic of African Americans who were getting into science fiction, which became a Star Trek, and we killed them all off. Okay, that's true. He also thinks it should have been better if it was on an hour later because they could have been darker and the show needed to be darker. And he mentioned his character specifically a few times. But here's another random other rumor plot line was from the aborted sophomore season included the appearance of underground visitors who adhere to the tenets of Christianity. Okay. This is the interesting part, though. According to England, had the weekly series persevered, two key characters would have switched allegiances. Star Child Elizabeth was going to turn evil after being seduced by Diana, and Visitor Commander Lydia would have joined up with the Resistance. The quote, the Star Child was going to go over to the dark side. Meanwhile, the Resistance was going to get Lydia. Diana and Lydia were going to have it out, and we would have turned Lydia to the good side. I never saw that in the script, but I heard that was part of the Bible. I kind of like that. I think we should have foreshadowed it earlier with the Star Child's character. They had me getting closer and closer to the Star Child, almost like her confidant or her lady in waiting. Willie was her best friend. It would have been really wrenching for Willie to have Elizabeth turn against the Resistance, and Willie could have been torn. And last but not least, England said he feels the writers missed a golden opportunity to explore his character's dynamic. Rather than limit Willie to mere comic relief, Robert said, there was also some thought that Willie would have been captured and then would have kicked ass. After all, Willie is an alien, kind of like an old Burt Lancaster movie when he eats shit for 5 reels and finally takes revenge. It would have been really fun to see Willie captured, tortured, and finally tear his chains off, kick down the door and kill 100 lizard guys. It's all latent energy. England. So that's it. That's it. I don't read any more. If you want to read more, again, I'll pip it out again. It's a great book by Dan Copp, Fascist Literature from Outer Space, The Politics, Literary Influences, and Cultural History of Kenneth Johnson's V. They feel the same way we do generally, but he has a lot of interviews and a lot of great behind-the-scenes stuff to talk about. But yeah, so there was the writer's Bible that existed when Robert Englund even called it the Bible. So it is there from June 27th of 1984.
He's being just charitable.
Maybe he is. He might be. He might be. So when I read that, my hope for the second season diminishes, because my hope for the second season actually obviously pinned on getting a new showrunner and a new writing staff and going on that blank concept. But there we are, folks. I think, do you have anything else you need to say about this stunning piece of work?
I'm out.
You're out.
You're bowing out.
Tapping out.
This show broke me, and I'm nervous about the next one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll get
I'm gonna have to go watch Scooby-Doo and recover.
That's a good one to go with. I will say next one should be a little bit easier. We're just gonna be ranking the characters and rating the shows, so it's a little bit of an easier go. Won't be as heartbreaking, I don't think. After that, we will be going over another script. We will not be reading this script. I'm going to give Lego the script that I have, and we will read it, and we will talk about it, and we will judge it on that basis. A script by J. Michael Straczynski, which was a pitch that he made to Warner Brothers to continue V, called V: The Next Chapter. It got pretty far, but then eventually Warner Brothers decided it was not going to be able to be budgeted. It was going to be too expensive for TV, so they pushed it. J. Michael Straczynski has also said it would be possibly novelized at some point, but that was a long time ago, and I never saw it. He actually posted the first part of the script online, which is how he got it. He actually literally posted it to his fans, said, "Here, this is what this would have been." It was going to be a 4-hour syndicated miniseries entitled V: The Next Chapter. This was a 2-part teleplay entitled Rebirth. It would have been darker and grittier reimagining set in a war-ravaged post-apocalyptic Earth 5 years after the apparent visitor truce in the final aired episode of V, the series. So, I don't know. I got to read into it again. I'm going to have to read the script. I don't want to tell you anything, so I don't know if they say anything about some things that happened between in the script or if it was afterwards. If they don't read in the script, I will bring this back up. They do talk about what happened kind of in between the two time frames as well. But that's a couple weeks from now. We're done. We've been here long enough going through this. Our hearts are broken. We have finished. We are finally finished. Where can the folks find you, Lego?
You can find me on YouTube at Legoland13. You could also find, I have a podcast, The Unhinged Binge, which you can find on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. I mostly talk about horror movies, but I also do video essays about various subjects. Sometimes they're entertaining, I hope.
They are. I've listened. I'm entertained.
Well, that's the whole point. Part of me kind of wants to do a makeup I've seen girls do makeup tutorials while they talk about true crime. And I think that's so awful. Like, could you imagine getting murdered and then having someone reading the glorified details on a Wikipedia article while they're applying a wingtip? Like, why are you doing this? But I would do it while talking about Jason Voorhees.
I love
and pretend like he's a real person and while putting on makeup. But that might be mean. I don't know.
I love it. Do it. Do it up. I'm here for it. You can find me at PLD on Twitter or X or whatever. You can find me on Patreon, patreon.com/PLD Projects. If you really like this stuff, you want to help support the channel, join such solar crew as Austin Goodell, Brandon Buckingham, Jeff Alterman. Got a crew there. If you like us here, but if you can't do that, I totally get that. Just hit like, hit subscribe, leave us some comments. We are getting further and further up. We are building our channel out slowly but surely. A lot of great stuff on the channel. Review every other week at this point. 2 minutes for White Dudes on Film. We just finished our Friday the 13th discussion. Although we are trying to get the director from Wompstomp Films, Never Hike Alone and Never Hike Alone 2, on to do an interview. So that might be a special episode we get to do. He really listened to the podcast and left a bunch of comments and talked to us. He really seemed like it could be a cool interview. It could be a cool discussion. Because he's definitely, if nothing else, passionate about Friday the 13th for sure. That could be something. We are taking a little hiatus for that too. After that though, because PJ and I are going to go headlong into the Doctor Who season. The new season comes out in May 10th, so we will do Big Blue Box for a little bit, and we'll come back and return to do John Wick and then Nightmare on Elm Street. That's our next couple series.
PLD, PLD, PLD.
We have to finish
Nightmare
the big
on Elm
three.
Street.
Yes. Has to finish out the big three.
But before you do number 2, I'm going to have some notes for you.
I will gladly take them. It's definitely one of the more interesting ones in the series. I will say
it's just because the way that some people talk about it, I think they needed to I think they just needed a gay person to like, here's the terms you should and shouldn't use.
Okay.
And here's what you shouldn't do, and then whatever your feelings are, that's your feelings. But here's just like the topics you should. This is the right way to address certain text, subtext, my ass, text.
It is very.
The board game was but come on,
it was very text. I mean, the director pretty much stated outright that it was exactly.
He has gone so back and forth about it. I just like, what is it? The writer, the director, whatever.
I will say
one time they even like multiple times I get the writer and the director confused, but they've said it was like Mark Patton's fault. I'm like, did he write the script? Did he do the set design? No. Did you do those things? No. Yes. Whose fault is it? Yours. Yes. Who cast him?
Right. Yes, exactly.
Who made the main character in a traditionally female role a guy?
Right, and made him scream like a girl. Like they made him do
Mark
that,
Patton. I mean, if we're talking like best screams,
he's right up there. He is right up there, absolutely.
Like he's great scream.
The whole film to me, and we're not gonna get into another podcast here. Obviously, we gotta go, but I will say the whole film to me, what I hate about it is they let a director who hated the first film make your sequel and not care about anything. It's kind of like the series, not really care about anything that had been established before or after. That's the problem I have with it. Anything else, I thought there's a lot of fun to it, to be honest with you. But it's just
that's kind of another thing is like, if you're talking about it in terms of the franchise, I totally get why people get really bogged down in certain logical fallacies that one has. However, I think they get too bogged down because, well, that's my favorite in the franchise, and that's like one of my favorite movies. So I think sometimes I kind of watch it outside of the franchise because,
and it's
better that way. But I do think when you're talking about it, because it is such a beloved film for an underserved group of people, I think it's important to say up top, we are talking about this in a way that it fits in the franchise, which does lower our view of it a bit.
Right.
Just to like tell people up top, like if you want to hear people talk about it who like it, maybe this isn't the thing you should be listening to.
That's
because so often, like I listen to a lot of queer content, and I do prefer that. But like when I hear other people talking about it outside of that, it's like, tell me up front if they're going to be shitting on it or like it, because I don't want to listen to it if they're just be shitting on it.
Right. I will let you know I will probably minorly be shitting on it, but I will be doing it from a pace where it's definitively from the side of like where it fits in the franchise, for the same reasons that I really don't like Freddy's Dead. It's a similar kind of thing as far as that goes.
I like that one too.
I knew you would. I knew you would. That's
that's the only Elm Street film that was directed by a woman. There are no Halloween films directed by a woman. There are no Friday the 13th films directed by a woman.
Correct.
All right. You talk all of these major, like huge franchises. This is the only one that has a woman director. It's so rare. And I do think that what she was doing was interesting.
I applauded her ambition. I applaud the ambition of what it's trying to do. I just didn't like what it ended up where it got too silly for me for what I was hoping for.
I
prefer my
I also
nightmare.
grew up watching these movies, so as a kid,
Right? Yeah, that
maybe
makes
that's
sense.
gonna be the best one.
I prefer the darker Freddy, which is why I like 1, I like 3, 4, I like 5. I don't really like too much as much, but I love Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I love that one.
I get 4 and 5 so mixed up. I'm
4 is
not
the
a big
better.
fan of either of them. I appreciate Screaming Mad George, but I've seen too many of his movies, and that man needs to stop with the cockroaches. He needs to be stopped.
That's fair. That's fair. I agree with you there. But okay, all right, that's there. That's what we're gonna get back to eventually for 2 Meter Horror Tuesdays on film. I think that's all my shows. Oh, Holy Snokes, Star Wars podcast every week. We're going to Bad Batch. I'll be going into the Acolyte when that comes out in June. I think Crown Jewels. I do my Queen podcast every week as well on the sister YouTube channel, but on my Crown Jewels feed. That's it, I guess we should say. It's been over 2 hours. We appreciate you sticking around this long. Leave some comments. Like you've been doing great in the comments before. I hope to hear what you have to say about this particular episode. And we will see you in a couple of weeks with the character ranking. Hopefully we'll get down to a top 30, top 40, where I'll pass it through Lego, make sure she knows who everybody is. He remembers who everybody is, and we'll go from there. But that's the next time. Until then, pray turn on, everybody.